couchtripper.
I'm Alan Partridge. You're watching and listening to Radio Norwich. Singer, actor, family man. Started off a mod, became a rocker. Roger Daltrey, who are you? Ho-ho. Ho-ho. Who are you? Ho-ho. Ho-ho. Well, let's find out. You were born in 1943 in Great Bookham, Surrey. Fate dealt the young Roger a cruel blow when your father was tragically killed on the battlefield. And in 19...
No.
No.
I was born in Hammersmith, and 1944.
Right.
My father came home from the war.
Oh, I see what. So it's rather embarrassing. This. So someone's given me next week's research notes. That's actually Roger Waters. Sorry about that.
Oh,
yes, I'm terrible like that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I once
easily done.
Yeah. I once I'm terrible with names. I once interviewed Dave Gilmore, and I called him Sir Tim Rice. Yeah, a bit embarrassing. He laughed it off at the time, but when I was heading off, I noticed someone had taken a key down the side of my car. I wonder. I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm not implying.
That wouldn't have been Dave. He's not.
No. Well, I mean, he left without saying goodbye. And I thought it was a bit strange. So it's probably just coincidence. So. Anyway, all these notes are for the Roger Waters interview. That's next week. That's the big one. Okay, no problem. So sorry for getting you confused with.
Well, I don't really mind being confused with Floyd because to me they're one of the better of the big bands.
Yeah, and of course, and you did warm up for them at Live 8, which was really good of you. I have to say that the Who, for me, in your day, you had some very clever lyrics, were very creative, but at the same time, you didn't take any nonsense. There was nothing pansy-ish about you. Someone once described you as a kind of Kinks for welders. You think that's fair?
We were a bit rough and ready, in those days, but I think as we got older, we've quietened down a little bit.
Yeah.
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit. I should actually tell you. I did. I actually once used one of your lyrics to chat up a lady who I'm taking to the pictures tomorrow night.
Really?
Yes, I did. I first met her as she was raffling a Maserati at Gatwick Airport, and she's a very, very glamorous woman. She's 49, but I think she's lying. Lovely woman. I started off a bit of texting each other with sort of cheeky messages. She started off. She texted me. She said, "Are you hungry?" And I texted her back, "You better, you better, you bet." Of course, the lyric from one of my favourite songs of yours. And she didn't actually know what I meant. She doesn't like the Who. But I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. She's into Ricky Martin and Dido. So it's. Doesn't really fit into your demographic, as they say.
I think I could live with that,
Yeah, I mean, it was just a first date. It's nothing. We didn't go too far. Just steak and eggs at Garfunkel's. Very casual. Ended up spooning her in front of Newsnight. Yeah. Second time I took her 10-pin bowling, followed by battered cod. That was rather more interesting. Ended up having a kiss and cuddle in the back of a Vectra.
Really?
Yeah, you got to be very careful dating over 50 because look at Whiteley. Boo, game over. The poor chap died of pneumonia, and what people forget is that pneumonia has a P in it. Now, the 60s, uppers, downers, purple hearts, hash, shit, heavy shit, dust, chasing the dragon, monkey on your back, ferret down your trousers. How far do you go with your thrill-seeking?
Well, it was around, and I'm not an angel, but it wasn't really my kind of thing.
Right, okay. You say that, but how do you explain one of your solo albums, Ride a Rock Horse? Which I think we've got a picture of it. Can we flash that up on the screen? I think we can see that. There we go. On the cover you see a picture of a horse with your torso growing out of its neck. Now, you don't think about things like that after a pot of tea, but you might after some pot.
Yeah, but I mean that's just the creative process. I mean it was. it's not necessary to do drugs just to come up with an idea like that, and it was just it was a bit difficult. We had to actually raise the horses' private parts for the Mothers of America at the time. That was the only problem we had with it.
Really?
But there wasn't really any drugs involved.
Oh, no, but I think that's actually a very good. It's good to show that you're thoughtful about people who buy albums, because no one wants to see a horse's cock on.
It's all very nice and all that, talking about the past, but I'm a bit short of time, and I only really came to talk about my charity work.
Roger. Everyone wants to talk about the charity work. I mean, I'm not. We'll get round to that. Trust me. I'm not getting paid for this. Just to go back to the whole drugs thing, I was never pulled into the whole drugs scene. There was one time. My only experience was someone gave me poppers on Bonfire Night in 1990. I can't say I enjoyed it. I got very paranoid and spent the evening in my room listening to Vangelis. But it was a life-changing experience. People criticise drugs often and say that they're mostly bad, but I think, for me, it opened up a whole new window to a new way of thinking. I mean, before that, I'd never have worn a bomber jacket in an interview. So now, in 1987, I saw David Bowie being lowered onto stage, and he was sitting in an armchair being lowered from a giant glass spider, and he was on the telephone. And the audience just burst out laughing. Now, hats off to the guy for trying something different, but at the same time, it must have been embarrassing for him. I mean, Peter Gabriel once wore a big mask. Have you ever done anything really embarrassing, apart from the cover of Ride a Rock Horse? Can we see that one more time?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I did, but we've all got carried away at times. But you had to try everything in those days. You had to be noticed.
You must have been devastated by the advent of the cordless microphone, leaving you unable to do your lasso thing, which, of course, you made your own. I mean, during the non-singing bits, you must have felt a bit surplus. I mean, did you ever feel a bit self-conscious? Because, of course, in the past you could do that when you weren't singing, during a solo or...
I mean, I never really used them. I avoided them like the plague. Actually, look, I don't really want to talk about that. I came to talk about the charity.
Yeah,
so
I think you made that point.
I really would... really don't want to keep going back to it.
Okay, all right, fire ahead.
I find it difficult talking about the old days. A lot of painful memories there,
Now...
So can I...
Yeah, just fire ahead. Talk about the charity for a bit if you want, that's fine.
OK, well, I have to say that it's only through shows like the Albert Hall and sales of DVDs like this one that we're able to raise money and awareness for teenagers with cancer. Yeah. So, put your hands in your pockets, buy it.
Buy it, yeah. That's great. You done? Great.
Well, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you want to say, we've got time. Just deal with the whole charity stuff in one go, so it doesn't bring down the rest of the interview. Yeah. Boo-hoo. Now, I didn't start the Teenage Cancer Trust, but you haven't got a monopoly on caring, Roger, because I'm actually a very active member of the National Trust. I'm very closely involved in their work restoring country houses, in which the tenants can't often afford to pay for basic repairs, re-roofing their house. I mean, it is really heartbreaking. Sometimes these people are forced into selling a painting that may have been in the family for generations. But to see the look of joy on their face of someone who's just been told he'll be getting £1 million grant to repair the roof, it is the kind of thing that makes it all worthwhile. It really does. It's heartrending. But sometimes, tragically, we are too late, and that really does break your heart. One gentleman in Yorkshire had to leave a beautiful 28-bedroom house and move to a detached 6-bedroom house in Chester. And when I heard that, I thought, I've just got to get involved. Everyone's got their favourite charity. Bono and Geldof, they've got first dibs on Africa. You've bagged cancer, fair enough. And I
You help aristocrats live in big houses.
Well, I mean, otherwise they have to sell those lovely old houses and they get taken over by lottery winners and rock stars. And, yeah, I mean, Bryan Adams can wear his green wellies and drive around in his Land Rover, but he's not fooling anyone, really. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, must have played them all. But I ain't seen anything like it in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb and blind kid, it sure plays a mean pinball. Did you get any hassle from the disabled lobby, or was it before political correctness?
I don't think anyone could have taken offence. I mean, it was just it was a rock opera. It was just a vehicle for an idea.
Yeah, and of course, and he did acknowledge, that despite his disabilities, he was very good at pinball. I mean, you would have thought that would have rendered him incapable of doing pretty much anything. And I'm all for positive discrimination, but if you had actually gone out and got a deaf, dumb and blind actor, to put it bluntly, he's going to be pretty bad at pinball, isn't he?
Well, I don't think we ever would have considered that. I mean,
yeah, and not too hot at acting either. I would have thought. I mean, he's not going to see the clapperboard. He's certainly not going to hear someone say action. You have to poke him with a stick, and that's just demeaning. Hair. You had short hair in the 60s when you were a mod, then you went all curly in the 70s, a la Brian May. Then you cut it short, then you grew it long again. Now it's short. Make your mind up, Roger. What's it to be?
I had it cut because I did a film where I played a guy called John McVicar.
Yeah, I was coming to that. There is an order to the questions. John McVicar is a criminal.
Was a criminal.
Well, yeah.
Well, he was a criminal and he's now been rehabilitated.
Well, I mean, I know it's not. Look, it's not gospel. Okay, so don't go calling your lawyers, Mr. McVicar, or sending the boys round. But I did hear from someone that Mr. McVicar is still fencing pirate DVDs. You might say it's a legitimate business. Just because he does it at a car boot sale doesn't make it legit. And I know for a fact he was offering a DVD of War of the Worlds, and it's still on at the cinema.
John is a very respected journalist these days.
Right. Well, good on him. I haven't seen any of his articles, but, I believe you. Sir Bob Geldof. Sir Paul McCartney. Sir Noddy Holder.
No, I don't think Noddy Holder is Sir. No, I don't. I think you've got that wrong.
Yeah, no, it's an asterisk there. It says unconfirmed. But the Baron Knights. I mean, they're not real knights, are they? But Sir Eric Clapton, Sir Mick Jagger, Mr. Roger Daltrey. Does the little green monster ever make an appearance?
Well, I've got CBE.
Yeah. They just couldn't go that extra mile, could they? Bastards. So we're running a bit tight on time now, so I'm just going to spool through these questions. Height, does it bother you? No, forget that one. Hope I die before I get old. Are you embarrassed? Yes, that's been done. You've answered that before. Let's see what else we've got. Did you get rid of the trout farm because people thought it was a euphemism for whorehouse?
Do you want to go there?
Is it still open? I'm sorry, I was up very late with these questions. They're a bit... oh, hang on, here we go. Daltrey, you're an embarrassment, swinging your microphone round like a big lasso. Go home and trim your hedge. Leave the rocking to the young ones like Lenny Kravitz. Does it hurt you when people say things like that?
As long as they turn up on the night and they're paying good money for your tickets and you're still selling out.
You're still selling out?
We still sell out, and I don't give a toss.
When do you hang up the old jean jacket? When people say, oi, you should be wearing tartan slippers, not wearing rock shoes and shiny trousers. Well, it only remains for me to say I've always been a huge, huge fan. I can honestly say that you are my third favourite 60s band. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roger Whittaker.
It's Roger Daltrey you're talking to. Again, you got the wrong... You don't know who the fuck I am, do you? Who the fuck are you?
Alan Partridge. I host Up with the Partridge.
I can get your shit together. I come and give you my time. I want to talk about a charity. You go for all that crap. You have all those wrong people. Bollocks.
Just having a good sense of humour there. Wasn't really annoyed. Wasn't really annoyed. Private. Stop now. Stop now.